Sympathy cards are a sad necessity of life. But in this video, I am sharing many easy ways to make gorgeous monochromatic sympathy cards featuring die cutting and no stamping. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Card on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik, and I admit I am die cut crazy and make most of my cards with dies. I recently purchased the Antique Rose Layering Die Set from Altenew, and just look at all the elegant cards I was able to make simply with this die set. A few sentiment dies and sentiment strips from Simon Says stamps. I decided to go with a monochromatic color schemes in these cards, and I love how all the cards turned out. Now, of course, all the details about the supplies used will be on my blog and links in the description box, along with links to products featured. And of course, each of these cards could easily be used for birthdays or thinking of you or any other type of card, simply by changing up the sentiments and the sentiment strips. So all of these cards were really easy to make simply with die cuts and adding texture to the background. So this might be my favorite, so I'm showing it first. I made two of the roses in, again, I'm using monochromatic colors. It never occurred to me to use grays and blacks and flowers, but recently I took a class and it was pointed out how elegant that can be. I used it on this card, and I love how it turned out. I popped up the top rose there, and then on the inside, what I'm using for all of the cards, or most of them, are Simon Says stamp sentiment strips. So I have these categorized in little baggies. This is my sympathy bag, and I have a bunch of them in there, and I pick out the one I want to use for each card and simply glue or adhere it to the card. Very easy to do, so if you don't have the right stamps or dies, you can add a sentiment if you wish, and I'm big on adding sentiments to my cards. This one I also love, and it's in shades of cream and brown with a pretty background die. I like adding texture to my backgrounds. I like the clean and simple look, but I just don't like a lot of just blank white space or cream space, so I almost always add texture with either a die or an embossing folder. And I have a beautiful sentiment there. And then on the inside again, the ones we love are never more than a thought away. Memories live in our hearts forever. Those sentiment strips really add a nice touch to the cards. This is one that's done in colors of peach, and again a background debossed die, and the sentiment strips: sharing in your sorrow, grieving the loss of your loved one, and celebrating their life. And my last one is in shades of blue with simply a rose there, and then an embossed background. And I like to emboss the whole card, so you can see the debossed side there and even on the back, and it just adds some nice texture to the whole card. And another sentiment strip there from Simon Says stamp. Another beautiful image. You know what I was going to do? I was going to show you first how easy it is to put that rose together. Now, these cards were very easy to make with simply die cuts and adding texture to the background. And I like to teach something in the card I feature in my videos. But I'm going to show you how easy it is to put this layering die together from Altenew. So there are 4 flower dies. So I chose a palette of pinks for them, and I started with the main one in the darkest, and then the second one in a medium pink, and I number mine just to keep it straight, so I have 1 and 2, and then the third one I have die cut in just a slightly lighter shade of pink. And I didn't poke that one out yet, but that's fine. So you can see once you cut them, I'll show you how easy it is to put these together. And then there is a fourth die, and I decided on these. I might not use them for sympathy. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to use them for. But I decided to add glitter paper on the top layer of these ones. And then these have pieces that go on the top layer, and I put a easy cut adhesive sheet on the back of this one just to make it really easy to attach. So you just layer them together, and this bigger one I'm going to use a tape roller, and you can just kind of line that bottom up, and then you can see they line up very easily. And there you have 1 and 2. And then I think on this one I'm going to use glue because it has all these little pieces at the top. Although I could have used the easy cut adhesive sheets on the back of this one too, but you'll see that once you put it on, you might want to maneuver it around a little bit, and with those easy cut adhesive sheets, the time to maneuver, you don't have very much time, but of course with glue you do. So again, you can line up the bottom on these, but then you also kind of want to line up the sides. And then once you're happy with the placement, you can just push it down, and we already have a gorgeous rose there. But I like adding a little bit of glitter. So I think it would be okay. So I'll poke these out, but keep the placement kind of where they go. All right, there it is. One more here. Now, of course, when you get the die set, you get a picture that shows you exactly how to do it, and they have videos as well. So this last one, we're going to start with this piece, and this one goes along here. And these are just accent pieces. They don't have to be on here just perfectly, but again, you can follow the picture and kind of know where you're supposed to put them. And then this one goes along here. This little one along. I think I fixed those up, but let's see. Yeah, yep, the smaller one goes along here, and a little bit bigger one along here. But again, they're accent pieces, so they can go. And then this one is going to be lined up with the side of this one piece here, and then placed there. And so you have a very textured, layered rose with those extra accents of a little bit of glitter there. You also get 3 leaf dies, and there is a leafy flourish as well. So once again, I have cut these out, and I made 2 of them already. I decided a dark green, a medium green, and then a glittery green, which I pulled out of my stash here. And so you have your main dark piece, or your main number 1 piece. And again, you're going to just line the bottom up and then the top. Oh. And with the glue, you can move it a little bit if necessary. And then I have the glittery top piece. And that goes, let's see, along here, I think, yep. And again, you can refer to the picture here when you're putting these together. So I have 3 leaves that I can use to make another card, and pretty rows, and you can see that they were very easy to put together, and just that beautiful die makes a gorgeous card. Another image that I like to use for sympathy cards is a butterfly, and I created several more lovely sympathy cards with these gorgeous dies from Dies to Die For at shopscrapbook101.com. I have the butterfly set here that has a whole set of them, and then I have a layered butterfly that has an awareness ribbon with it, and this one is called Butterfly Awareness. And then I also have In My Thoughts, which I thought was perfect for these types of cards. So the first one I did was in shades of peach, and I just simply layered the butterflies with some pretty pattern paper. Again, I added some texture to the background and one of those sentiment strips from Simon Says Stamp. This is the card that I'm going to show how to make in this video. The larger butterfly, as I mentioned, has an awareness ribbon piece, and that can be personalized in the appropriate color for whatever reason you're sending it. I have a family member who was recently diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, so I created this purple monochromatic card for him. The layout is called Split Negative because each side is dark on light and light on dark. Or it's a mix of positive and negatives, if you will. So I like the layout of the card, and I did my awareness ribbon and cut that in half as well. And this is a joy fold done again in the split negative technique. Now I put a list of the awareness ribbon colors and meanings in my description box. And again, this purple is for many things, but I chose it for pancreatic cancer. And so I kind of made this a thinking of you rather than sympathy, but obviously it could be used for sympathy in my thoughts and prayers. And I'm going to show you how I made that card. Peach is my color choice for the card that I'm making, and peach can be used for endometrial cancer, invisible illness, uterine cancer, and vaginal cancer. But again, you can use it for any purpose, and any of these cards could be other than sympathy cards, of course. So again, this is a joy fold card, and I started with 2 colors of peach cardstock from My Favorite Things. I cut the darker shade 8 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I scored it at 5 1/2 because I want a square card. And I also cut the lighter shade of peach 2 3/4 by 5 1/2, and I attached it to this side, so you have your darker and lighter, or your positive and negatives on the base card. I also cut a piece of 4 by 9, and I scored it at 4 1/2, and it's 4 tall. And then the right half is a piece of the darker peach that is 4 by 2 1/4. So again, everything is in halves. And I've covered half of these, and then I embossed everything with a Stampin' Up! Embossing folder. It's that subtle dynamic background. It is very subtle, but it really adds nice subtle texture to it, and I like that look. So that is ready to go. Now I have also die cut all the pieces that I need, and we're going with, again, the light and darker peach on the opposite colors. So I have die cut 3 darker peach butterflies from that butterfly set I showed you from Dies to Die For. And I am going to attach those dark on the light and light on the dark for that split negative look. Along the bottom of this top piece, I have die cut In My Thoughts. This die cut is generally all together. If you can see that, it's In My Thoughts is all one piece, but I've cut it apart in the different shades, again, to get the positive and negative, or the split negative image of dark on light and light on dark. Pick it up. In My Thoughts, which is a lovely sentiment, anytime, of course. And then I have the largest butterfly from that set, and I die cut it out of the dark peach and the light peach. And then I layer them together and cut out it exactly in half. And of course I'll use that other half on another card, but what I want is the darker on the light side and the light on the darker side, and I'm going to put them together like that. Right up to the line. And then we want the darker right side of the ribbon and the left side of the lighter, and they will line up here together. You can move it a little bit with glue, which is nice. I want that to line up in the center. Of course, that glue does dry clear, so that won't be an issue. And then we're going to put this inside the card so you have your joy fold, and I want this line to line up and be straight. Let's see if we can do that. So the light is on the dark, and the dark is on the light again. So that split negative image really makes for a striking joy fold card. And then on most of my cards, I do add gems. I have these clear ones. I always use Gina Marie Designs gems, and I have a link to them where they're available online. And I like that there's always 3 sizes, so you can use your big, medium, and small at any time. And sometimes you just want a subtle one, just a clear one that will kind of pick up the colors underneath it, and that's what I chose for this. But I also, of course, use all the sparkly ones and the other ones she has available as well. Oh. And then on the larger butterfly, I used 2 of the medium ones just to draw attention to the center of the butterfly. I just have this kind of like rule that butterflies have to have gems on them. I'm not sure why, but I do it almost all the time. And I like the look. It's subtle, but really adds a nice touch. So we have our split negative joy fold card in my thoughts with the beautiful butterflies, and then it opens and sending deepest sympathy. So sorry for the loss of your loved one, wishing you strength now and in the coming days. But again, this card could be used for any purpose, changing up the colors or the sentiments or the sentiment strips. These cards were quick and easy to make, and I think show how elegant and lovely cards can be made simply by choosing the right dyes and colors to use. I hope my cards and ideas inspire you to give some of these products and ideas a try. Thanks for watching, sharing, and subscribing, and thanks too for helping me share the joy of creativity.